Hey, what's going on, everyone? Misha Wilson here, and welcome to part 2 of this little playlist where we're showing you the secrets to following up and really creating maximum profit with your email list, your subscriber base, so that you can once again grow your business, increase your profit, and at the end of the day, make a whole lot more money with your email list that you currently have. Now, before we dive in, I want to go ahead and let you know if you did not watch video 1, please go back and watch video 1. Video 2 will not make as much sense if you have not watched video 1. So please go back, watch video 1. We'll leave a link to video 1 in the comments section below. Go back, watch that before you dive into this video. And with that said, if you get value out of this video or video 1, please let me know what your biggest takeaway is in the comments section below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon notification button so that you're notified when I do more videos just like this. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right in.
Now, secondly, phase 2 are daily Seinfeld emails. Now, it's kind of a weird name, right? Who watches the show Seinfeld? Anybody in the back? Nobody? Anybody back here? You do? Okay. So, what's Seinfeld really about? Nothing, right? But you still watch it. You still watch it, right? But it's kind of just about nothing. Now, why it works so well is because it's just irresistible entertainment that allows people to tune out. It gives people an avenue to kind of escape the stuff that they're dealing with. Like Kate said, lots of people tend to focus on the negative, right? They're focusing on the negative all the time. It gives them a little source to tune out of that negativity for a certain period of time and a little area to escape. Who here can relate to watching a movie to escape? I do it to this day when, I don't feel like dealing with something in the business. I only watch, a documentary on some athlete. That's what I like to do. So from there, really with your daily Seinfeld emails, you're just trying to entertain, educate in a way that's actually valuable and entertaining. I think Keisha said edutainment, right? You're really just trying to give your subscriber a little piece of the day where they can tune out from their daily routine and again, tune in to you and your marketing. Now your goals are firstly to provide irresistible entertainment and to keep your prospects engaged. Secondly, you want to go ahead and build a relationship and a bond with your audience moving forward down the road. How you do this best is with stories, and we'll talk about it in just a minute. Third, you want to sell your products and services. Every single day, you want to sell your products and services. One of the biggest mistakes I see so many people make is they build a list. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy to go ahead and build that list. And then what are they afraid to do? They're afraid to sell to that list because they don't want to burn out the response of the list. They don't want to hurt the actual responsiveness of the list by selling. At a core level, what's your list there to do? It's there to make you money. If you're not willing to sell to your list, will you ever make any money? What's the fastest way for people who are in the workshop to increase the response of a lead? To turn them into a buyer, right? So again, when you sell on a daily basis, it's the equivalent of you going ahead and having your doors open for business. That's how I look at it. If I don't sell on my emails on a daily basis, how is someone going to buy my product? My store is metaphorically closed. And lastly, it'll allow you to filter out your hyper-responsives. So it'll happen at the end of a 30-day period, a 60-day period, a 90-day period. You'll see people who have opened, 15, 20, 30 times a month over and over and over again. Those are the people who are hyper-responsive. Those are the people who will come through and purchase all in. Those are the people who will ascend up your value ladder. Those are the people who will tune in and follow you, again, with everything you do in your marketing. Does that make sense? All right. Now, I know it seems kind of ambiguous, daily Seinfeld emails, right? So I want to talk about the keys to making it work and really a few leverage points that I focus on within my email marketing. So number one, I'm trying to get them to open with curiosity. We talked about the power of curiosity during the actual workshop. But again, if you see a subject line that's just a little bit different and it kind of makes you look like sideways at your computer, you're going, what is that thing? Do you open the email? Yeah. What's the only way you can get someone to engage with the message of your actual email? To get them to open. So if you never get them to open, they can't engage, they can't click, they can't buy, and as a result, nothing happens. So get them to open with curiosity. 2, engage and bond with them through irresistible entertainment. This is stories. What's the oldest means of communication that we have in mankind? Storytelling. Do you remember information or do you remember stories? What's told at the fire, 10,000 years ago that gets passed down generation after generation after generation after generation? Stories. Why do you think, who here has heard me tell 1 or 2 stories before? Who here sees me doing them all the time in my marketing? Why do you think I do that? Because it allows the person on the other end to understand and then also to remember the lesson that the story goes ahead and illustrates. So whenever you have a lesson in your marketing, if you can teach it via a story and via a parable, the person's not only going to get it, but they're also going to remember it. They're more likely to take action on it. When they do that, they're more likely to go ahead and follow you and buy from you in the future. 3, this is a big one, all right? The goal is not to provide how-to content, more how-to content all the time. It's to get them addicted to opening and reading your messages. And how you do that is 80% stories, 20% content. So there is a segment of your list, your email list subscribers, who do want just the pure content, right? And again, you have to go ahead and appeal to everyone on your list. You have to at least try to engage everyone. Everyone doesn't have to like you. But again, you want to engage with everyone, and so you do want to have some content in there. But again, 80% stories, 20% content. Why do people get addicted to watching Seinfeld? Stories, right? All right, so again, here are some of the topics. What happened today, and I'll go over a couple of examples. What happened today, story-based edutainment, the controversial email. Those would be under the episode style of email. Under the epiphany style of email, you have ideas, some inspirational story, enlightening or thought-provoking message. You can challenge existing dogmas or beliefs, so you can go directly against what someone believes, and again, that will get them to open based on curiosity. And then the straight-up educational style, these tend to be the 20% of content, are the checklists, how-to, Q&A, and frequently asked questions. Now, to give credit where credit's due, this is Russell Brunson's creation, and he's one of the best marketers out there. And again, this is exactly how he monetizes his list. So when people who have $100 million companies are using this stuff, do you think it works? Yeah. Yes. All right. So again, let me show you a couple of examples, because I know you're probably thinking, what happened today? What does that mean? How do I write an email based on what happened today, and how do I tie it in? How do I do it in a way that's entertaining and gives value, but also makes a sale? Is that kind of right? Yeah. All right, so here's a couple of examples I've used, and these are the subject lines, and I'm going to go ahead and expand after I tell you the subject line, and the subject lines might crack you up. So, number 1, she's not the only one. Now, this is when I was actually just trying to get my girlfriend to open. Because she's on my email list, and she hadn't been opening for a while. I can track engagement, and it was pissing me off. And so I said, all right, Anitra's going to open this email. And I typed out, she's not the only one. And she opened. It worked. My email list engagement went up. But no, essentially, what I talked about in this email is I was at the pharmacy one morning picking up a prescription. I was sick at the time, and there was a lady who barged in, and she was 3 people behind me in line, and she barged to the front of the line. She was yelling at the people at the pharmacy, and the only thing she cared about was her. She didn't have any clue that anything was going on beyond just her. The only thing she cared about was her needs at that time, and getting those needs that she had at those times solved right then and right there. That was the only thing she cared about. So what I did is I created a little email. So again, you always have to be in the frame of mind where this is a story that I can use in my marketing. You have to be looking for stories, and you have to actively be coming from the frame of mind of how can I work this into my marketing, because then they'll start to appear everywhere. But essentially, I wrote an email where it was talking about the fact that, again, this lady barged in. The only thing she cared about was her. And then I tied in the fact that, guess what? Your leads and your prospects, they're exactly the same. Your leads and your prospects don't care about you. Your leads and your prospects care about one thing and one thing only. They care about them. And if you can figure out how to give that lead and that prospect what they want at that point in time when they want it, guess what's going to happen? They're going to convert into a sale. And then I said, and hey, the good news is I teach you exactly how to do that right here in this $1 trial profit boosting bootcamp. Click here to get started right now to learn the A to Z marketing strategies that I use to build my multi-million-dollar business. So do you see how, again, I got them to open with curiosity. From there, I engaged with a quick little story. The story illustrates the value of the actual lesson. And then from there, I tie in an offer. And again, it just allows people to tune out for a minute, get a little chuckle, and again, tune into Misha for a few minutes. Does that make sense? Number 2, push-button softwares and flying unicorns. Again, this got really good open rate. Now, who can, guess what I was writing about in this email? Exactly, people who wanted to hit the easy button. So essentially what I did is I wrote about the fact that I wrote about an experience I had with a customer who I couldn't get to do any work, I couldn't get to actually commit, I couldn't get her to do anything, and she was only looking for that thing that if she paid, even $10, $15, $20,000, she would pay her way to being rich, right? And it doesn't really work that way. As appealing and attractive as it sounds, and as some marketers frame their offers in that way, it doesn't really work that way. So what I did is I wrote an email about that experience. I then scorned that bad behavior, talked about, not wanting to deal with those clients, and then I went ahead and said, hey, if you want to learn the real way to build a sustainable online business without the overwhelm, without the confusion, and without it taking 5 years of your life, like so many people deal with, click here to get started. So again, just a very quick little story. These would be perfect examples of what happened today. Does that make sense? Number 3, cat fights at the grocery store and $1 million marketing lessons. Who here opened this one? This got really good response with the list. So, trying to bring myself back to when I wrote that email. I believe what I talked about in this email, I remember. So I was at Foodland, one of the little grocery stores on Maui. I was at Foodland doing my thing, grabbing a drink, and the lady in front of me was trying to check out, and the lady at the cash register actually had a voucher for her that would get her like $20 off, right? And even though it was a really good deal, even though it would instantly save her $20, the lady at the cash register just kind of pushed it on her and just said, here, take this. And didn't really clearly say, hey, would you like to receive a $20 discount just for giving us your name and email address? There was no communication in that manner. It was just, here, take it, and pushed it on her really hard. And based on her pushing it to her really hard, the person resisted it, and based on that resistance, there ended up being a little cat fight in the grocery store, and by the time the whole thing was said and done, the lady had called the manager had come down, I believe she ended up getting the $20 discount, and the other lady was moved to a different cash register, and it was just this whole fiasco, when the lady who was at the cash register was trying to save the other lady $20, but instead of allowing herself to do that, she tried to push it upon her, so the lady resisted. So I wrote a funny little email about the experience, and then the lesson of the email was, look, if you try to push your products and services upon other people, guess what's going to happen? They're going to try to run away. Then what do you think the hook was? If you want to learn how you can become the hunted instead of the hunter, if you want to learn how you can generate leads, build an email list, and leverage a sales funnel that works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, click here to get started now with the Super Affiliate Network. So again, bringing them into my world for a couple of minutes, a little edutainment, and then another hook and push to my offer. 4, this one works every single time I send it. I think about you in the shower. If you got an email saying, I think about you in the shower, would your head kind of tilt a little bit? Who here's opened that email? Right? That email has made me thousands of dollars. All right? Now, what did I talk about in this email? I talked about the fact that usually when you have hot water running over your head, you get the best ideas for the next thing in your business. You can come up with daily email content. You can come up with daily blog post content, whatever it may be. Essentially, I told a story, which is true. Never tell fake stories. But I told a story where a client asked me, how do I come up with blog post content? And I said that, I think about you in the shower. Where I get my best ideas on a daily basis is usually when I'm in the shower, because studies have shown that hot water actually running over your head creates more creativity. And if you're actively engaged and aware of looking out for ideas when you're in the shower, again, you'll get better ideas. So I sent that email out to my list. Amazing open rates, amazing click-through rates, and it made a couple $1,000s. And it was about probably a 450 to 500 word email, right? Now again, who would be a little bit hesitant about sending that to your list? Anybody? Couple honest people, all right. So one of the things about email marketing is you kind of want to keep your list on their toes. So you don't want them, the cardinal number one sin, and this is worth writing down, like a couple of things I've told you, the cardinal number one sin in marketing that you can commit. Any guesses? Being boring. If you're boring, people tune you out, all right? So again, I want to keep my email list on my toes. I want to keep them always engaged, always kind of thinking about what might be coming next, and always kind of a little bit, I don't know whether I love Misha or hate Misha. It's right in there somewhere, right? Kind of unsure about who I am, but again, they're always opening, they're always engaging, they're always clicking. And then lastly, soft porn and cold brews on a Sunday. So who here would open that subject line? Be like, what is Misha writing about now? Is he confessing? What is going on? Keep your minds out of the toilet, all right? So essentially what I wrote about in this email is me watching football and me watching a Patriots game and me just essentially seeing that every single commercial was either for a GoDaddy web address, which was the GoDaddy commercial with the girls, right? The Carl's Jr. burger commercial with the Carl's Jr. girl. I don't know if you guys have seen that one. I don't know how they got that one approved. Or a beer commercial. Those are like the three ones I saw. So it was either women in almost nothing or cold beer. Those were the two things that were really being sold, right? The women were selling products and services, but they were using it as a means to go ahead and sell. And what I talked about in that email was the simple fact that, again, what do these people know? These people have a very close, they have an affinity for the people who they're marketing to. They're very aware of exactly how the people who are watching football on a daily basis think, their target market. And based on that fact, they can put up certain ads that even though they're a little bit edgy, they're perfectly tailored for their target market. And as a result, they get them to open, or it gets them to respond, right? And then again, just like with all the other emails, I tied in a quick little sales message telling people to go ahead and click here to get started with the Super Affiliate Network if they want to learn how they can do the same. Now, by a show of hands, I want to make sure people are paying attention. Would you have opened these emails if you got them? Yes? Okay. Now again, an opener is much more responsive than a non-opener. A clicker is much more responsive than a non-clicker. Every single small action step someone takes is increasing the responsiveness of that prospect. So just getting someone to open an email is increasing the response. Just getting someone to click is increasing the response. Just getting someone to click on a daily basis is massively increasing the response. The people who are opening and clicking on a daily basis are the people who you can send emails to the most often and who are going to buy the most often and then who will continue to buy moving forward down the road. All right, so always focus on firstly entertaining your audience and then secondly selling your products and services to your audience. Does that make sense? Awesome. All right, to recap. Firstly, get engagement and create a relationship with your audience through your indoctrination campaign. Secondly, after your indoctrination campaign, engage on a daily basis with your prospects, leveraging talk radio email. It's the same thing as daily Seinfeld emails. Third, stop leading with so much how-to content and start focusing on building a bond with your audience through the power of story and through providing irresistible entertainment. And four, sell your products and services every single day, all right? Yes, Sell your products and services every single day. When you don't sell your products and services, you aren't open for business. That's how I focus on my email marketing. That's how I look at my email marketing. And that's what's allowed me to send emails that have made me as much as $20,000 per send, right? Again, it comes with consistency. But at the end of the day, if you do this for long enough, it becomes second nature. You're always finding stories. You're always able to go ahead and pull something up. And you're always able to entertain for just a few minutes. Now, the good news for you guys is that whenever you bring a lead into our system, they go first through our 5-part indoctrination campaign, and then they get sent our daily Seinfeld emails every single day. So those leads you bring through our system, they're getting sent those emails that I just talked about. They're bending their head sideways when they see the subject line, and then they're opening and clicking and they're buying while we do 95% of all of the work for you.